And we are live, hopefully on the correct channel. So, as usual, we'll just go. Sorry about that. We're gonna go over the theme and share our progress, and then we'll open for questions. Um, I'll go first. I've been working on preparing the cascaded bridges support to launch on Jitsi. We tried to launch it last week, but we had some unexpected failures that we're looking into, so it should be very soon. Um, we are going to launch it with an A/B test, but we will have a property that will enable you to um, force it for a conference if you want to test specifically manually. Um, that's pretty much all that I've been working on. So I'll just move to Krista.
Um, so I've been working mainly on the Dropbox integration for the recording. I have a PR for the web version. We are gonna see if there's something to be fixed, but very soon it should be in master. Other than that, I don't think I have anything else.
George?
So um, there are some bugs in the bridge that I'm working on right now. We are experiencing sometimes video corruption issues. I have started investigating that. During the investigation, I also found some issues with the bitrate allocation algorithm, where the bridge forwards lower quality than it's supposed to be forwarding. It's so that's one thing. Another thing is that the bridge is probing for bandwidth when unnecessarily, so we're wasting bits. That's another thing. Um, those two issues are actually fixed in my local deployment, but I'm still working on the um, video corruption issues. We must be missing up something in the VP8 payload descriptor. Uh, I'm suspecting. Actually, I believe I have a way to reproduce the issue by messing up the base temporal indexes that the VP8 packets depend on. So I'm working on trying to find out where exactly we have the bug in that specific part of the bridge. Um, I'm hoping to have that fixed soon.
And to be clear, the way that this bug has been manifesting is that sometimes you would see artifacts in people's videos, which normally shouldn't be happening. People should be experiencing either poor quality or freezes in case things are working suboptimally. But artifacts should never be there. So if you're seeing artifacts, you're hitting that bug specifically.
Pablo?
So I only created a PR to delay adding remote streams on mobile for larger conferences so that it will take less time to join and hear audio, because it used to take like 10 seconds or more. But then we fixed avatars and now we're delaying the streams, which should save us maybe 2 seconds. But yeah, that's all from me.
Lenny?
So I had worked on getting the settings dialog to be displayable on the welcome page. This provides a hair check feature, but it's also mainly for the Outlook and Google Calendar integration that I'm helping Damien with. And otherwise, I was fixing issues with TileView/BirdieBunch View, which is currently deployed on beta.
In fact, Lenny, I don't believe we have updated this group here on the fact that Brady Bunch is now in master. So you could maybe talk a bit about this.
Sure. Not sure what there is to say, but what happens is there will be a button in the bottom right of the toolbar. It looks like 4 little squares when you click it. You get into a tile view mode. So the thumbnails you see currently on the right of the screen will display much larger and in the center. And there will be multiple tiles visible, and it looks like a grid, like Brady Bunch.
Yeah, and you said there will be, but in fact, if you're running for master, they are already there, unless I'm missing something. But no, that's the case. They're in master. And the other thing to mention here is that the traffic for the thumbnails is dynamic. So, and that's something that you and Brian worked on. That depending on their size, the bridge would adapt and send the appropriate resolution, as opposed to just treating them as current thumbnails or just all like large videos. So that's pretty cool. Thanks for the update.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. We've been testing it on the stand-up, and it's really nice. Damien?
Yeah, I've been working mainly on the calendar integration, so not much for me.
So?
Hello. I've been mainly working on performance improvements for the mobile app. This is also part of the effort that Pavel mentioned. He discovered some issue with avatars. I replaced our avatars implementation. Did some other bunch of work related to getting stuff out of the main thread so it would run on a background thread and not hog the UI. And lately, I've been working on updating WebRTC to, well, testing the update to WebRTC to M69, which is not released yet, but contains major updates to the metal-based renderer, which we plan on using on iOS when we think it's ready. Because OpenGL is being deprecated and because it performs better. And I think that's pretty much what I've been up to.
Aaron?
Yeah, I don't really have anything to report for this particular call. I was helping Boris with the debugging of the new versions of everything. I will continue to help him with that this week. Otherwise, nothing really relevant for this call.
Maybe you can talk a little bit about the recording to Dropbox, because we're going to make that public. So
that's a good point. So that is something I've been working on. We have in Flow the support for recordings on Dropbox. There's a UI in Jitsi Meet that lets you authorize the recording. Then we end up uploading the recording via the token that you authorized once the recording is available. That's involved work in Jacopho and Jibri and libjitsi Meet and Jitsi Meet. I believe all of those are now in master. So hopefully we'll be able to show that off pretty soon too.
The terminate script, though, is not part of Jibri yet, is it?
So actually that's another piece of work in progress. Basically,
we're
working on the finalized script is now its own open source project. We're working on Debian packages for that this week, hopefully, so that we'll be able to allow people to just download those as well.
And the repo name is?
It's the same repos we'll be using, probably download Jitsi.org.
No. The GitHub repo.
That I don't remember. Jitsi Uploader, I think. Jitsi Uploader integrations uploader. I don't remember exactly. I'll post something later on.
We'll announce it at some point. So, but yeah, everyone who runs their own version of Meet are going to be able to run that sort of recorders, and which basically means that your recorder will take the recording, store it locally for the duration of the call, and then immediately get rid of it by putting it to the Dropbox location indicated by the user, which saves you the trouble of
the legal hassles and GDPR implications of storing that sort of stuff. Um, and we're thinking of adding support for Google Drive as well shortly after. I'm out.
Jubo?
So I'm just gonna repeat what Pavel so said. So the last 2 weeks we've been working as a team, Pavel, So, Zoltan, and I, on multiple ways to solve performance issues in the mobile applications. We've already committed and are running internal builds with great improvements, very noticeable, that resolve around not only reduction of CPU utilization, but really UI responsiveness. So we changed avatar implementations, which gave us a lot of responsiveness in UI. We worked a lot in different areas to move execution from important main threads, which in React Native apps are multiple UI JavaScript threads. We moved a lot of things out of them so that UI can process much as needed without being blocked by other additional work. We are also, as so said, in parallel, we're working on additional improvements, but we'll probably try to wind down on those this week, or at least in the next 2 weeks, and move on to adding new features, exciting ones. So we'll be announcing those as we make progress on them. That's all for me.
And Jana.
So I was also working on the calendar integration with Damien and Lenny, and mainly working on the UI and the front end part of it. The whole future is waiting on that part actually, because they're done with their work there. So I hope to finish that sometime this week, and we'll probably have a PR and merge it in master by the next call. So that's for me.
I think that was everyone. Unless, did I miss someone? Okay, let's go to open questions. Anyone?
Hi guys. I have two, I think, relatively small questions. Both are either in GitHub or on the community forum as well. So the one is I updated to the latest stable release of Meet, or whatever was the latest stable last week. I don't know if you guys did a new release in between, and that broke a bit of the functionality in the welcome page. If you're not running Meet on the root context of a domain, it'll still show the welcome page and it'll do the auto-generated room names. But as soon as you click on the go button or the join button, it'll redirect you to a page that is in the root context of the domain, which in my case will end up throwing 404s. I tried having a look at that. I think Lenny also had a look, but it's all Chinese to me. So I would really appreciate if one of you guys could have a look at that issue.
So you said you're going to be looking into whether you broke it with the routing refactoring. I guess you're going to take time on Tuesday doing that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I think I broke it. I remember specifically trying to be careful, but I guess I just wasn't enough. So I plan on taking a look this week, which for me starts tomorrow. So I will look at that and see if I can fish it. Lenny showed me that we have a test environment that has these set up. So I should be able to validate the fix reasonably quickly.
Awesome, cool. And otherwise I can help you as well, because I've got my setup that I can easily call as well. So my second question is more of a question that we also discussed on the community forum. And I think, Saul, you once told me when I was doing refactoring or adding a feature for something completely different, that the config.js and or interface.config.js files or content was ignored by applications that use the SDK. Do I remember that correctly?
Semi. Only interface config. At the moment, mobile does not read interface config. Config.js, yes, we download dynamically every time you go to a room. But interface config, no, it's not used yet.
Okay. And
login config neither.
Oh, yeah, that too. Thanks, Lou.
And because I don't know in which one that is, the resolution constraints, is that part of interface or config?
That's part of config, but it's ignored in mobile.
Excellent.
So
that's the one that I was after.
The SDK opens always 720p, 30 FPS. It's what it currently does.
So if you wanna work on that, we can create a Jira issue, I guess, and start tracking it when we have time to go to that, or if you want to work on that as well.
Yeah, I've got
many people have asked for it occasionally, but yeah, now that I moved some code around, I think it should be a bit easier to do. So let's track it and see if we can find some time. I'll be happy to fix it.
Cool, thanks. That's it for me.
Any more questions? I guess that's all. So we're going to close this call. Thank you everyone for joining, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye-bye.